if you really want to learn something about life, you need to get a job in food service. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially if it's a one-on-one situation where you're, because we're all human beings, right?
Yeah.
And no one knows who's having a bad day on the other side of the counter, who isn't, who's not. And
there are some people that show it though.
Yeah, exactly. And some people, you try to teach that, just because you're having a bad day, that person, shouldn't affect this person and whatnot. Sometimes it does. But yeah, food service will teach you a lot about yourself.
Welcome to 99 Miles Per Hour with me, your host, Percy Garner. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Your Pizza. Now, this is a local pizza shop in New Philly. They're at 152 Front Avenue in New Philadelphia. You can find their pizza online at yourpizzashop.com. Or if you can call right now to order for delivery, it's 330-339-4888. Now, you can also find subs, salads, of course, and boneless wings. Now, y'all know me. If y'all seen the show before, I don't be messing with the salads, but they got everything for everybody. Try some of this pizza. It's amazing.
Casa, make yourself at home, do your do. Welcome to my pad, this your lab, go create your move.
Welcome to 99 Miles Per Hour podcast. It's me, your host, Percy Garner, and I have a somewhat special guest today. No, I got a special guest today, and but before we get to our guest, I do want to thank all of our sponsors. That is Your Pizza and Peterman Plumbing. We appreciate everything you do, and you make this podcast possible. And Josh reminded me that I have to let you guys know to hit the subscribe button and to hit the notification bell so you're notified next time I go live. Or we haven't gone live yet. Next time we put up an episode on YouTube. We're at 250. We've been stuck on 250 subscribers for a long time. I know there's more than 250 people that watch this podcast. So come on now, help us out. All right. Anyways, now to our guest. Now I'm excited to have this dude in. He wanted me to call him whenever I needed someone, but I didn't really need someone. I'm not desperate, but I just want to have him on the show. But anyways, we have someone local community leader who has helped me out at Rainbow Connection, is a very generous, giving person in the community. And it is the general manager of Subway, Kevin Fitzgerald. How you doing, Kevin?
Well, Percy, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I came off a bad eating day. And I know you're Subway and there's healthy food there. I decided to eat a whole bag of M&Ms.
Okay, there it is.
But I've been on this meal plan.
Right.
I've been working out, because we're going on vacation in July and I'm trying to get my body right. The couple we're going with, the husband is jacked. So
gotcha.
I didn't want to look too bad. So
I understand. Every spring I have to get in pool shape and I'm running behind.
It doesn't look like it.
Well, it's because the table's right here.
Well, you might be strategic with your clothes. Everybody thinks right. I'm good, but
it's all about blousing.
Is it? I like that word. We actually weren't allowed to do that with the Philadelphia Phillies. Yeah, you had to have your shirt tucked in so tight. There's no blousing. They had a real old school guy Mike Compton, who always called me Garnier. The hair stuff. He thought it was funny.
Hey. I'm sure it was to most people too.
Yes.
Yeah, except for you.
Except for me, exactly. But I'm glad that you decided to grace us with your presence.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here. I'm glad for the invite. Happy to
what'd you think when you walked in? You see all these lights and all these cameras. We're big time, aren't we?
You are. It's pretty high tech. You and Josh had everything squared away. As soon as I walked in the door, you're ready to go.
Well, I like that. I like the compliments. Usually people don't do that. Scott Robinson was getting on me a little bit.
Well, Scott has a little more experience in the industry than me. So if you can impress him with technology and casting, you're in good shape. So
well, I hope to learn a little bit from him back in the day. But anyways, enough about Scott. He's not here. So let's talk about you and I just want to I kind of use this platform to ask questions that might be awkward if it was just me and you in my office, like, hey,
right.
But so I just use this platform to learn more about people and ask some personal questions.
And be awkward out in the stratosphere, right?
Yes, exactly. But I guess, and I always start with like current events, and hopefully we don't go through our time with just current events. But
well,
I'm curious about the state of the food industry. I mean, I haven't really talked to anyone. I mean, I talked to Chris Lane, but we didn't really take a deep dive into that. But just tell us about, are you hurting? I don't think Subway's hurting, but you never know.
Well, it just depends. It's all perception, right? You can see 25 people in our lines and figure, hey, they're great. They're doing well. But then the rest of the day, there's nobody there. But we've actually been okay. 2020 was pretty tough, just like everybody else. But we came through it fairly well.
Good.
This year's starting off pretty good. But I know being in the industry, there's a lot of people that you don't see a lot of things, right, from the outside.
Yeah.
You're just asking. Like I come in here, I don't know what you're doing in behind the scenes, what Josh is doing over there. I'm hoping he's making me sound good, but I don't know what he's doing back there. So, but it makes everything work, right?
Exactly.
So when folks come into our store, we try to make people understand that the important part is right here in front of you.
Yeah.
You don't see behind the scenes, fine. But that's us. We take care of that, right? And I know there's a lot of folks out there that hurt real bad in 2020. Some didn't reopen, but locally, I mean, just walking around, going to different locations, not just ours, going to the Wendy's, going to the local places and Sugar Fuse a couple times a week for decaf coffee, that kind of thing. But everybody seems to be okay. I haven't seen many doors closed, locally, but luckily in Ohio, we were fairly okay. It's been tough, but we made it through, and with 2021 coming, I think we're going to be okay.
So that's good. That's good. I mean, I know I've been involved with a lot of, business owners and stuff like that more than I have in the past. I didn't know all of what Tuscarawas County had, and I was just like, whoa, I thought we were this little podunk town that didn't have nothing going on, but
it is amazing. If you get outside of our community and you really look around what's going on, and you come back. I spent 3 years away from college too, back like we were talking when you were first born, but even back then you went to certain communities and it just wasn't the same as here, because there's a mixture of things to make this place home,
Yeah, and I got to interview a lot of, people who contribute to the Rainbow Connection, and the popular question was, tell me what's good about Tuscarawas County. So I got a lot of different answers, a lot of repeats, but it's just, it's the same thing, people love, the home feel, and people are in people's business a little bit, but not overly.
Right.
You got some privacy. People did know where I lived the day I moved in there, so I didn't. But
well,
can't really avoid that.
Now, if you weren't on national TV throwing pitches, would they have known it was you coming in? I don't know. Maybe. Probably.
You never know.
I mean, you're a local legend.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Local legend. We got to add that to something.
Hey, Josh. Could have made it further if, right? No, I shouldn't say it. It was a conversation before.
It's all good. It's funny. It's all fun and games. I can take it.
Yeah.
But I did notice that about you, and that's one of the things I wanted to have you on here for. When I was doing my interview with you, I was just like, man, I love hanging around this dude. I love the way, you talk, and you're just a fun guy to be around. So I was like, I got to have him on here. So, well,
with me, I'm an Irish Catholic, right? I'm not supposed to be a bad thing anymore. I don't know if you're allowed to say who you are or what you are, but in my family, I was one of 10 kids, right? And if you didn't speak up, you got pushed aside. So it's like, if you meet at Fitzgerald, they're not going to shut up. Yeah. Most of us, or some of us, will talk more than others. And I've also been one that sometimes my mouth works faster than my brain, right? And I've tried to fix that, and I've gotten better at it as I've gotten older. But I enjoy conversation. I enjoy people, and just like stuff like this. And I am who I am. I'm going to say what I say, and if I make a mistake, I make a mistake.
Exactly. I've made plenty of mistakes, but no one ever knows because Josh edits really well.
There you go.
So.
That's right.
But I guess, the thing I know we talked a little bit about behind the scenes, but what is your take on, obviously Subway is this big national corporation or whatever you want to call it. But being a franchise in Dover, obviously I love Subway. I've always loved it. Even, back in the day when I only got one thing, the chicken bacon ranch sub. Right. But I've broadened my horizons since then. But, just talk about how, yes, it's a national, corporation, but it's also local. How describe that?
Yeah, it is. Well, the way Subway runs things, they're a franchise group, and they're still privately held. Okay. They're not a public corporation. Oh. So, and the way it works is we buy a contract from them to run a business under that license. Right? Okay. So it's similar to a Wendy's or McDonald's, kind of the same thing.
Gotcha.
But we're not publicly traded at all. So we either succeed or fail by our work.
Gotcha.
Locally. So my parents came here back in, I'm probably wrong, but it's like 65-ish.
Okay.
They were originally from Cleveland and Cuyahoga Falls and Akron area. Right?
Okay.
It's kind of about their family, and then a little bit of Indiana in there. It kind of made our way down here to Dover through the Kroger company. And my parents opened the first store in 88. We were talking about, I was a freshman in college. You were just born, I think. And so, we've always had local ties, okay, since before we ever started, because, my dad had 23 years, what was my math, maybe 65, 85, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Almost 23 years, whatever, in the community. And he was always involved in the community, even before he was with Subway. So being locally owned, we can stay in the community, right? Because it really makes a tie. It's not like we're in Cleveland where there's 6 different guys with stores 4 blocks from one another, right?
Yeah.
We have all the stores but one in all of Tuscarawas County. So it's benefited us to be local, Gotcha. So, it helps being a franchise. They do a lot of help as far as advertising and marketing things for you. But again, it's only going to be successful if we're doing the hard work up front. So,
yeah. And I looked into a little bit, Chick-fil-A and stuff like that, but they're a little bit, picky and stuff like that.
Yeah. With us, we got it. Well, my father got a Subway originally because it was kind of a retirement vehicle for him. But he's 83. He's still working every day. So, but don't tell him I said that. Edit that out, Josh. No. But it was a little less expensive to get into. Gotcha. Some of the franchises, Chris could probably tell you.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's all relative to your product too and what you're selling and whatnot. But
gotcha.
It was pretty easy. And when we first got involved, there wasn't a lot of competition around. Now there's a bunch of places, which is fine.
Yeah.
Competition is good for you, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right. If you want to succeed, if you're not afraid of it.
Yeah, true.
I think so. Yeah. So it's just, one of those things that's just our way. I've been doing it for 30 years. I'm not sure I know what to do, anything else to do. So,
Dang, that's Diane,
I hope I answered your question a long way around.
That's what podcasts are for. We don't want a short conversation.
Right.
Now, obviously, you've been doing this for a long time. You got a lot of knowledge in this, in this business and stuff like that. But obviously, everyone's got to keep improving. So,
sure.
What have you been doing lately that, is kind of helping you improve thyself?
To be honest, not a lot, I guess. It's one of these things to where 2020 has been so crazy, and I'm not going to blame work, but a lot of people understand the shorthand of this and that, blah, blah. So I think I've put in more hours behind the counter and actually making sandwiches for people than I have in quite a long time. So is it a lack of time, I guess, a lack of focus maybe? But we're trying, I
like the honesty though.
So it's like, I really haven't had much time to improve myself personally.
Yeah.
But it's hard to improve on something that's already pretty good, but no, I'm just kidding. no. See, there's that part you're like,
oh, I love it.
No, but, I think I'm a fairly decent person, family man and happily married for almost 26 years now, 27 years.
Better get that one right.
Yeah. So, she never gets it right.
Oh, okay. Well,
Julie,
good for you.
Listen,
Good for you.
you always have to look at me. That's fine. It doesn't
How many
matter.
kids you got?
Just 2.
Oh, okay.
And numbers don't matter. As long as if you can be married 25 years and can't stand each other. True. Right. So it's all about, growing together. So, and as far as something overtly in front of me is improving myself, I don't really can't say over this past year.
You're not watching on YouTube how to make the chicken bacon ranch better.
Better. I mean, you haven't come in for a while. Let me make it for you. So no, actually, we are improving some of our products. So just be on the lookout.
Well, I know I saw the I don't know how long they've been out, but obviously when I did the interview with you and I saw the protein bowl, I was like, oh, this is.
Well, we're improving some of our products too, the actual core products. So
okay.
See some, but I'm not allowed to really say.
Oh,
but if you come in, we'll tell you. So.
Good. I don't think somebody's watching this. So
never know.
Yeah, true. Awesome. Well, that's good. Okay. And then we obviously already talked about, the family business a little bit, but is there anything like, your parents came here in the 60s and, did their thing and set it up for you guys. And I kind of had this toward the bottom, but since you already touched on a lot of other stuff, I kind of want to, because someone close to me recently switched, careers because it kind of set their kids up.
Right.
In the previous job they had, they didn't really have any promise to set their kids up for that, So is that something you're looking to do? With your two kids, have they showed interest? Because I know my son, whatever I do, except baseball player, he has never said he wanted to be a professional baseball player. But when I sold insurance and when I was at ComDoc, he's like, yeah, I want to be an insurance salesman, which no one has ever said.
You know what? You and I both know some insurance salesmen. I should have done it. I'd be driving a big car right now. No.
Exactly, yes.
No, actually, when you say that, your friend, that's another reason my father did that. He was setting the family up for success. So, like I said, we had the siblings in my family. There's only 4 of us involved now. So the rest of them kind of we all had the opportunity to start out in the company. But everybody's, they were older. They were already on their paths, right? So with him doing that, it's allowed us to kind of grow up in this business. Okay. And it does allow some freedoms, right? After the hard work's done. But as far as putting it on to the next generation, you have myself, you have my brother Dan, my sister Trish, and my sister Erin. So it's 4 of us, not just me. Yeah. And I'm the one out front talking because,
Well, we interviewed Erin and I didn't have the great audio set up at the time like this is set up.
Right.
So her interview, unfortunately, didn't get to see the light of day because you had customers coming in, which was good for you guys, but not good for an interview.
Well, and she'd be okay with that.
I can tell.
She's actually a little bit of an introvert herself, but I'm completely opposite. See, my wife's an introvert too, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not either.
But as far as that goes, it's kind of a 3rd generation thing.
Okay.
Right? And I don't think my 2 sons really, because one's kind of out working in the field, and he's got his own house and he's 23. He's kind of doing his own thing now, right? The 19-year-old, he actually just came to work for us just this past spring.
Okay.
He never really wanted to work for Subway.
Okay.
And he's enjoying it, I think. But then he's going to start back at the city here for the summer, so who knows?
Okay.
But as far as our succession plan, I have some nieces that are involved, and hopefully they'll want to kind of continue it.
That's good.
So other than that, so if your son wants to look into buying a Subway shop. But heck, I still have 40 years of work left in me, so don't be in too big of a hurry. So.
Well, yeah, you gotta work as long as your dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Or longer.
I'm not sure. I've always said, and you, Josh, you may have been the same with your parents, but as a kid, you grew up, you're like, really? God, Dad, God, Mom, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be like you, la, la, la. And you find out one day, I'm just like you, And I'm not telling anybody something they don't already know as you get older, right? as an adult. But if I can have half the willpower and strength and stuff, but he does at 83, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll be satisfied. So.
Yeah. And, my dad the same. He'd get up at 4 a.m. to go to work. And I'm just like, man, that's crazy.
My father-in-law, he's been retired from Timken for probably 20 years now, probably. He still gets up at like 4 a.m. because that's just what his clock is, right? His internal clock. So I was like, what's wrong with you? It's just what I do. Okay. So.
Well, I used to get up in my off seasons. I would get up about 6:30, go work out 7 to 8:30, work 9 to 5 before I got to the Indians.
Right.
Because I made nothing in the minor leagues. So I would work 9 to 5.
That's actually true about that?
Yeah. Not zero. I made something, but not enough.
Not enough, right.
And I would work out and then do my I would eat dinner with my family, of course.
Right, sure.
And then I would go get my throwing in, and then I would do pitching lessons 7 to 9. Then go home and then play video games and not get much sleep, and then wake up again and do it all over again. So now, I went through a little spell where I don't wake up as much. I wake up early again now. I'm back on it. I'm back on my grind, but I was a bum for a little bit.
You probably earned it.
Yeah.
It's better you're that way younger.
Yeah.
Than being a bum when you're married with kids. As soon as you're married with kids and you have a few, there's no time.
No, that was just recent when I already had my kids and I was married. Well, so no excuses.
No excuses. We're going to have to have a discussion off camera here in a little bit. Now, as long as you saw the error of your way. No.
Yes.
No.
But I'm back, And, you know, I'm working out and like we said, getting together for vacation. Yes.
Where's vacation?
Hilton Head.
Okay.
Yes. Never been there. I was supposed to go there with a friend back in the day and never went. And
it's nice. Been there once.
Really? Yeah. Baseball would always get in the way of my vacations. You know, and family, we didn't really have the money to go. So now I'm happy. I want to tell my son, like, you don't even know how good you have it.
Exactly. So you got to pull that. You better pull that card, that parent card right there.
In the snow, I was walking 3 miles. Okay, never. I didn't do that. I took a bus. But
son, you don't realize I had dial-up when I was in high school. That's what you can tell him. You know,
but that was the truth. That was the truth, and that was. He doesn't have to hear a sound when he's logging on the internet. He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
But Dad, I only have 3G. Boo-hoo.
Those are the things. Dad, what's going on with the Wi-Fi? I'm like, oh my gosh, will you relax? You're gonna live.
Yeah,
you're gonna live.
Right.
But
go outside.
Yes. Coach If was just talking about that. I wonder, you think I can get Coach If to come on here?
I bet you could.
You think I could? I don't know. He doesn't like this stuff.
He doesn't, but
he's a good speaker though.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Turn the cameras off, maybe.
Yeah.
Tell them they're off.
Yeah.
Oh wait, jig is up now.
He can't do that. Now he knows.
Yeah, he knows.
But see, this is we're just conversating, having fun, and outlines here, and I'm just like, oh yeah, we got other stuff on the agenda.
Yeah,
but
dude, better get rolling. See, you told me. See, you got to say.
Okay, we're good.
You got to lead me down the path, or I'll just keep going.
I like that though. Yeah. I like that conversation. So we talked about, you know, the business and all that stuff. Now, you being general manager, you know, head honcho and all that, you know, you got
too much credit.
You got to be able to lead. And now, you know, obviously that could be you and your 3 other siblings. But how do you guys do that? Is there one that really focuses on, hey, you know, I'm gonna pour into people. I'm gonna, you know, give my time to this person to make them better. Not just at, you know, showing up to work on time, but just making them a better human being outside of Subway or whatever. You know, I guess, how do you guys divide and conquer and use each other's strengths?
We not necessarily nothing built, I guess, per se. That's one thing we're kind of lacking as an organization. We're not as organized as we could be, but we bring a little bit of a easiness, I guess, to the way we manage. We give our managers freedom to, you know, be what they be, do what they can, work when they can. We have an open door policy in our office. So my sister Erin's really great with the employees, especially our managers, when they have something to talk about.
Gotcha.
You know, just come on in and talk. You know, we always, it's kind of a safe place in our office.
Gotcha. And I think that's better when you don't have a organized thing.
It can be.
Yeah.
At the other end, it can be a little more difficult, but you deal with those things. But with our office, it's an open door policy for us. But as soon as you come in, you want a closed door. It's free range. You can talk about anything. So with my sister Erin, that's a benefit. She really brings it. I don't necessarily have that listening capability. I mean, I'll be honest. I try.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not the lack of desire to listen to somebody.
Listening's hard. It is. It is. Especially when you're someone like us. You know, we like to speak and we like to, you know, help others. But sometimes, I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes, like, especially in these podcasts, like I hear you say something, I'm like, ooh, in my head, keep that in my head, because I want to say something right about, when he's done, I want to say something. And then, you know, maybe the next 30 seconds, I'm just like, okay, what'd you say?
And keep going, yeah. Or if you're talking to somebody and they're talking and you want to finish their thought.
Yeah.
I gotta, you know, I'm bad at interrupting people. I am. And I try not to, but it's just one of those things. Like I said, as a kid, you had to speak up or get spoken over. But so that's her thing. And then you know, me, I'm more of a, I guess, overseer, I guess we'll say, I suppose.
Gotcha.
Making the more difficult decisions, I suppose, if there are any. But it's just a family atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know? We just kind of play off of that for the last 30 years, you know, and
I like that.
It's been okay, I think. So and
I feel like I haven't been in there enough.
Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I mean, at one point when I was working at Finish Line, I made it a point that I'm never going to eat out, you know, unless it's like a special occasion.
Right.
But now, you know, I eat out a lot. So.
Well, you're busy.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. And that's one thing that is nice about having a lot of choices around town. And you know how busy spring can be.
Oh man,
your boy's how old?
7.
7.
He'll be
So
8 in June.
So he's playing ball probably.
Yeah, he's actually just playing flag football. He doesn't want to play baseball.
Not yet, but he'll. I mean, even no matter what he plays, there's a season for everything, right?
Yeah.
And when you're in that season, you're going to be busy.
Yeah.
You're not going to, you're going to have to eat out.
And now there's 2 flag football seasons. Coach Schiff just announced there's going to be another one in the spring.
And fall.
Yeah.
He's pulling a John. Soccer Association.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna
gym
compete.
Teacher at East with my wife.
Yeah, I know, and he drove by my house to say
anyway, Soccer Association.
No, not Alfredo.
Not Alfredo. That's funny. Sorry, John. I apologize.
Yeah, we apologize. Your last names. He rode by my house and
he's a great customer of ours. It's just anyway.
Yes,
but with his soccer seat, he has soccer seat, and when he started that thing, it was small, but he's grown that soccer for Dover.
Well, you're talking about competition. I feel like there's competition now, trying to get the students to play which sport. And
well, it's just like anything, Percy. If you only have 100 students, if you have 16 activities, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but football used to rule.
It did.
So we'll see what happens. I started liking soccer once I got out. I'm sorry, Coach F, but 2013, I learned about the game. I started watching it, and I was like, "Oh, I wish I would have went to games."
I have a story for you with soccer and Coach F, but I'll tell you that off the air.
Okay.
He probably doesn't. He probably doesn't remember, but it was just kind of funny.
All right, I definitely want to hear that.
So. Sorry, Coach.
But I like the family dynamic you have and how you share, and it's just like it's a family atmosphere, and I think that's good. Obviously certain points have to have some type of structure, but it's good to have the, where people aren't dreading like, well, I guess I'm gonna get a lecture from Kevin today. I have to ask Caleb if he got any lectures from you ever.
No. He was always the best employee we had. No, he was good. He was
okay.
Really good employee.
Well, he's doing well, so he had to be good.
Yeah. The salesman, man, I gave it to him, right? I gave him the opportunity to be a salesman.
I like it. Man, so I've enjoyed this conversation so far, but I want to get into something, I guess. I don't know if you've struggled with it. I know I have, and I know a lot of people have, but I guess just self-doubt. Did you go through stages with being a part of this, the family organization, the family business, and, not wanting to mess it up or let anybody down, and just have those moments of like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
Absolutely. Okay. I mean, if you don't have those opportunities, I guess we can call them opportunities.
Yeah. Those
opportunities to really look at something and say, am I going to be able to do this? Right. One fact was back when I was, my older son's 23, so it would have been February of 2001 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was 2 or 3. Subway changed the way they were doing their contracting. So my father sent me to Connecticut to school. I've been in Subway at that time. Been working it for 15 years.
Dang.
You go out there, it'll be fine. You go in these classes. It's like, whoa, I didn't really know this about our company, right? Yeah. It's like, I guess I better start paying attention.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Sometimes maybe overconfident, then all of a sudden, bang! It's like, oops.
Yeah.
But as far as what was the original question anyway? Self-doubt.
Yeah, self-doubt. Right. Have you had those moments?
Sure. One major one is when I asked my wife to marry me. I didn't think she was going to say yes.
That is a scary moment.
Yeah. But I asked her 3 times. She finally said yes within 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh man. It reminded me, my kids were just watching the new Rapunzel movie, and at the end, the guy says, after, every day, will you marry me? Will you marry me? I finally said yes. The guy was saying that.
Yeah. So you're at that stage.
Yeah, you get to watch all the Disney movies.
Yeah, my kids were the Toy Story generation. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Those were kind of good. Yeah, those are great. I'm
joking.
Really good,
really great. So now you know how old I am. Yeah. But no, as far as self-doubt, you have it once in a while. Mm. It's a matter of, stepping back and looking at the situation, saying, is it warranted that I should be doubtful about this? If it is, then, you bone up on the information you're supposed to be, have. So
I can tell you handle it well. For me, Subway actually is incorporated into one of my stories that I tell people when I'm talking about mental health. Because when I was struggling in baseball, there was a Subway in Clearwater that was literally 100 feet from my apartment.
Okay.
So I went there a couple times. And that's when this is bad. I'm going to admit this, but every time I'd walk in, they would just start getting cookies ready. And if she had just made like a new batch, she would come out and see me and then just put that down and go start making more. So if she had a brand new batch out, we all know how good Subway cookies are. So if she had a new
Freshly
ones
baked.
that were hot, because I forget what the woman's name was, but she had to put up with me when I was in high school and I was getting all the Subway Player of the games. But
over here,
yeah. And I would say, hey, can you put my cookies in the microwave for like 9 seconds? Particular, 9. So,
well, see, I've always said this: if you really want to learn something about life, you need to get a job in food service. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially if it's a one-on-one situation where you're, because we're all human beings, right?
Yeah.
And no one knows who's having a bad day on the other side of the counter, who isn't, who's not, and
there are some people that show it though.
Yeah, exactly. And some people, you try to teach that, just because you're having a bad day, that person, shouldn't affect this person and whatnot. Sometimes it does. But yeah, food service will teach you a lot about yourself.
I'm sure it will. Sure. There's a lot of interaction with people. Yep. You have to, no matter how your mood is, you have to be, hey, how can I help you?
Yep. And it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So.
That is true. That is true. Now, before we get out here, there's some things I want to cover, and I know we didn't get through everything,
that's
but
fine.
I love the conversation we had, but don't worry, we'll have you back in a year or so.
Only when you need me. I only can't find somebody else.
Ooh, probably the M&Ms I just ate. Yeah. But, I mentioned you being involved with Rainbow Connection. How important is community to you? Obviously Tuscarawas County and stuff like that. You've been here forever. And, like you said, you believe in organizations that keep people healthy and help people out in the community because it all comes full circle. Those people come and, come to Subway.
It's just simple. If you don't support the people around you, they're not going to support you, and you see plenty, like you've traveled, right? And you can see certain communities when they don't have certain things, the negative effect it has, right? So when you have organizations like the Rainbow Connection, United Way, I don't want to step on your toes.
No, you name
Big
them all.
Big Sisters, you just keep, we can go down the list
in
this county. And they don't happen on their own.
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't have those community people involved and you don't have that support for those organizations, it's just going to make life a lot more difficult.
Yeah. And then the Humane Society, their thing's coming up soon. I know I was a part of that thing last year. It's probably not going to be the same as it was not last year, 2 years ago.
Right.
And that was pretty special, but I just know now I might be dedicating a day of the week to go help, other nonprofits, just so more than one thing. So I can learn, obviously, since I'm new to the nonprofit space, and maybe I can help them on certain things that, because I know a lot of people in this area aren't always up on, the social media, the video. I love video. That's, I was recording everybody.
Right.
And I would love to lend that hand if it changes their organization and helps them out in some way. That'd be great. But the people in this community are so generous. Like, I don't really look at other organizations like, well, how much are they giving to them?
Right. Well, and like you said, we're going to learn from them. People think that being selfish sometimes is, but you can't be selfish. Just, you got a little bit of a selfish angle there, just a little bit. Not selfish, but you're trying to learn, right? And that kind of brings a little bit of self into that.
Yep.
But then you're going to give it back on the other side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's my focus. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm about to send a letter out to everybody. Be like, look, we done did the telethon. So now it's time to me to, serve the community other than just helping people out with their bills and disabled individuals around the community.
Yeah, you should.
Just do more. So I want to do more.
Yeah, use your platform to advance as much stuff as you can.
Yeah, actually,
positive stuff.
Before we go, what are some hobbies you have? I like to ask this question because my sister-in-law says I have too many hobbies, but I fall in love with something. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to buy the best version gear.
Is this one of your hobbies?
I don't know if you want to
sister-in-law.
Call it.
Yeah, be nice. No, well, it's just funny. When we walked in, I said, man, who made this table?
Yeah.
And Josh's like, I made that. I'm like, wow, that's cool. 'Cause I said, you do woodwork? Yeah, I just dabble, blah, blah. And I said, what is this, briar smoke? You're like, what's briar smoke?
Yeah, I was like,
and
is that the type of wood?
That's the color.
Is that the briar smoke wood?
That's actually the color. It's I think, is it a Rust-Oleum product? I can't remember. It's a Minwax maybe, but
that's crazy.
I'm not shouting out anybody. Sorry, I'm not allowed to say that, but you know, unless you're sponsoring. So Minwax, look up 95 mile per hour.
Wait, how fast did you say?
99?
Yeah, okay. I thought you said 95. I was like, come on.
That was that's when you weren't stretched out. If I did say 95, edit that out, Josh.
Oh, Lord.
But no, that's woodworking. You know, I do woodworking. You know, I used to, and this is just because you're sitting in front of me, but I like anything baseball. I've been a baseball fan all my life. Played it, not near as well as you played it, but
you probably did other things better than me. I just could throw it. I couldn't do anything else on the baseball field.
I couldn't hit that great. Just ask my coach. He claims I did, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, God rest his soul. But yeah, I mean, and just spending time with family and it's really about it.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, it's again, it's work. You know, it's kind of all encompassing. But
well, it's because you prioritize work. So that's your thing.
Well, I shouldn't, but I do. So
yeah, I mean, you got to at some point.
Think of what else? I don't mind working in the yard and being lazy by the pool.
Yeah. You know, work in the yard and listen to 99 Mile Per Hour podcast.
That's right.
And the Dogs podcast. The Dogs podcast is doing amazing, by the way. Yeah, you guys can't tell this backdrop because I make them rip all the Browns crap down. But they will be live this Thursday. I will be there.
Nice.
You know,
not cheering
for the Browns, but I'll be there.
Am I allowed to say where it is?
Yeah. Have you guys been announcing it?
Yeah, Josh?
Yeah. It's at Hoodletown, right?
It's at Hoodletown.
I've been to Hoodletown once. I gotta support local businesses. That is true.
Oh, well, hey.
So I hope the draft went well.
Yeah, I hope the draft went well at Hoodletown.
I'm calling Justin Fields went third. We'll see if I'm wrong. Trey Lance.
And the Browns going to get their linebacker, defensive end there.
Yeah. Hopefully the Steelers. I want the Steelers to get what's the running back from Alabama? Najee Harris. Hopefully the Steelers get him. But yeah, I don't want to keep you here longer than what you were here for. We're getting close to 45-minute mark.
I'll come back with the second half of this.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
A year from now.
No, I appreciate you coming. Now, my last guest thought it was weird that they didn't say bye, but usually I'm like, I appreciate you coming. You say thanks for having me, and then I turn and then I say all the stuff that I'm supposed to reiterate. Do you want to say bye to people or no?
It's never goodbye. It's until next time.
All my family says that. They say, no, it's not goodbye. It's so long. I'm like, okay.
See ya.
Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate Kevin coming by and sharing some of his knowledge. And it was fun having him here. Can't wait to have him back again. And yeah, like I said at the beginning of this video, Josh reminded me, make sure you like and subscribe. We need to get to 1,000. We need to beat the Dogs podcast YouTube to 1,000 subscribers, which we're probably not going to do because they're at like 900. If you want to go help them out, I think on this page, the Dogs is right there. So if you haven't subscribed to their podcast, go ahead and get into 1,000. So thank you, everybody, and peace. It feels like Casablanca. Shouting you my little mama. I got a crib out of water. Say me Casa Su Casa. It feels like Casablanca. Shouting